Hello, everybody. Here's Natasha, and we're back for another episode at the Feminine Space podcast. And Cindy and I were just talking about this as we were preparing to come on and record for you all. And we realized that, all this collaborations we've done so far, it's been focusing on what's special about you and how can we help you to discover your talents, your expression, your creativity, and all those assets within you, and pretty much the uniqueness in you. But then we started talking about, well, there's something greater to that. There's something even greater than each individual, which is the collective consciousness, or actually the whole earth and the universe and our whole species that's actually here, fully integrated, and we're actually here to help one another. So although we've been diving into that self, into the little me and all that, we today want to kind of dive into this topic, which is something even much greater than just ourselves. So it's a really interesting topic that we chose, Cindy, and it's about what's this desire about, being one and finding our own self and finding our own purpose, and that, I guess, uniqueness and kind of separation from the others. Yet there's this oneness, this wholeness, this connection that's between all of us. And how does these two, I guess, truths come into play in our lives, and what does it really mean? So I'm going to hand it over to you, Cindy, and allow you to kind of give your version of what do you think about this topic and what does it mean, oneness and also this separation.
Well, hi everybody, and hi Natasha. This is a wonderful topic for us to speak about because it's true for most of our lives, particularly our young parts of our lives, we're so focused on how do we create our lives? How do we achieve what we want to achieve? How do we find our life partner? How do we raise a family? What's going to be my destiny? Am I going to be a doctor or a lawyer or a writer, a therapist, a spiritual healer? And we're really focused on the self. And what can happen is, if you have too much focus on the self, is you can get out of balance. And the self is individual and unique, and it's balanced by the fact that we are all one. And I think that most ancient wisdom practices talk about the oneness of the world. And for example, the Native American First Nations practice, they really embody the idea of oneness with Creator, oneness with the earth. There is a tribe called the Lenape, and they feel that they are not just part of the earth, but they are literally connected by their circulatory system to the earth. They are genuinely a part of it, and they feel it in their bones. And I think to achieve that experience of feeling the oneness is very different than having an intellectual understanding of, oh yes, we are all one. And there's songs about we are all one, and there's a lot of conversation about being one. But I think that when you have that true experience of really allowing yourself to achieve that sense of being one with everything, with each other, with the world, with everything that's around you, it is life-changing. It takes the specialness out of each one of us. And in another sense, it puts the specialness in everything. And when we can achieve that balance, then we just don't get out of balance. We all know world leaders who are a little bit on the selfish side and the side of, I am right and you are all wrong. There's too much of that still in this world. And when we have that experience of the total oneness, then you can no longer see the world as separate. You no longer see yourself as separate from everything that you do. And there's a deeper compassion for yourself, a deeper compassion for others, a deeper compassion for everything in the world. And I'm really hoping that the world continues to grow and embody these attitudes because it is what the world needs. We've been destroying our world and the environment for decades. And I think it's time that we got that love of land back. And we've been at war with each other. And I think it's time we got that love of each other back. That real sense that if you hurt somebody out there, you are truly hurting yourself. If you hurt the earth, you are hurting yourself. And when you get those two things in that genuine experiential way, life changes. And I think you get more in the flow of the universe and the flow of what your destiny truly will be. It is, I love how you say, there is something that is larger than all of this. And it's true. Oneness sort of brings it all down to one, but that one is bigger than all the many.
And you're speaking of an experience, aren't you, Cindy? Because it's not something that we need to intellectually get or understand, or it's not this list we have in our heads which says, oh, you are like me in such and such and such and such way, therefore I see you as an equal. It's an experience and then actually a deep feeling within us that this human, feels the same pain, feels the same fear. They all just want happiness just like I do. It's starting from this place of viewing that other being or animal as you and this full compassion. It's an experience, I really have to say. And a lot of our coaching work, isn't it, Cindy, is an experience. It's not something that we need to understand or get and, study. And so what are your thoughts on that?
Well, exactly. It has to be an experiential feeling of oneness for it to really become that life-changing piece that allows us to continue to grow and evolve as individual human beings. When it's a mere intellectual idea, then that whole sense of oneness isn't embodied in everything you do. And that's when you get that sense of, oh, I'm very, very, very special person. And you can, we all know people like that who are busy presenting themselves as these absolutely unique individuals that are above or beyond everybody else. And it's never pleasant, Mm-hmm. And that's when you get that disconnect between the separateness and togetherness. And that's really what we're talking about, that tension between the two. And there is a tension, not like conflictual tension, but just like an inner and an outer tension between separateness and togetherness. Mm-hmm. And we are separate and we are together. Yeah. And you know what, I think if it's just an intellectual idea, then you don't actually have the experience to the extent that it's life-changing. So that's really what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. A beautiful example that comes to mind when you're talking about this, balance between feeling like you, like that one self, and also that connection to the whole universe and to all the people on this earth with you right now, or even before, or coming after our lives here, is a sense of surrendering that, yes, I'm one piece of this puzzle, but I do not control, what's going to happen or even what happens in my life. To an extent, we do. And we share a lot of, empowering ideas and techniques with you all so that you know that you can change your life and that you are the driver of your life. But there's another component to it, which is this whole world that we're actually living in. And this sense of surrendering, this sense of, I guess, offering peace to the other part of our life, which we have zero control over. So the example that I thought of, Cindy, was kind of like my work, because I know that I can only do the best that I can. And I can only, on my own, connect to what's within me and what needs to be expressed, And from here, I can, extend out, spread my work, do the best I can. But the rest of it, even for artists or people in their jobs, they are serving someone, or they're contributing and living to this outer world. And we are powerless to how people will receive us, whether they respond to my work, whether our CDs will sell, whether people will be very emotional when they see our artwork, or maybe for you, Cindy, that book is this faith that I can only do my best, and I'm going to surrender and offer this peace offering to the world and hope that it will receive me back, right? With that same love and unconditional acceptance. So I thought that was really beautiful, because yes, I do need to connect to myself, but I also need to acknowledge that there's things I cannot control, and that's the oneness right there. That, hey, I'm with this. I can only do my part. I'm gonna give the rest of it to God, to creation, to the earth, to the universe, whatever you want to call it.
Well, surrender is such a fabulous topic, because so many people find it so difficult to surrender, and we're in a culture that really emphasizes individuality. And so it's kind of hard to get that real experience of oneness. And there's this beautiful Sufi story that I love, because it really, it embodies exactly what surrender is about. And so if I can remember it correctly, it starts off with a river at the foot of a mountain. And the wind says to the river, "Come join me. Allow yourself to come and be one with me." And the river says, "Oh no, I could never do that. I'm a river. I don't want to be, I don't want to be the wind. I don't want to be nothing. I can't be nothing. I have to be something. I am a river." And the wind says, "No, it's okay. Come and be one with me." And so the river is, some of it is evaporated, and it becomes one with the wind. And the wind goes up into the sky, and it meets a cloud, and the cloud says, come join me in the cloud and become a cloud with me." And the wind and the evaporated water say, "Oh no, we could never become one with a cloud. We don't want to be a cloud. What would we be if we were a cloud?" And the cloud says, "It's okay. Come and be one with me." So the water that's been evaporated in the wind become one with the cloud, and they're in the cloud, and they're enjoying things. And they hit the side of a mountain. And you know what happens when you hit the side of a mountain when you're a cloud? The cloud releases all of the moisture that it's been carrying. And the water comes down the mountain, and it reaches the river, and the river says, come and join me." And the water droplets say, "Oh no, we could never become one with the river. We're water droplets. We are rain. We what would we be if we were a river? We're water droplets. Each one of us unique." And the river says, "It's okay. Come and be one with me." And so the water droplets become a river. And it shows you kind of the full circle of what surrendering does. It just takes you into these different stages of life in the world and brings you back to the beginning always. So it's a wonderful Sufi story that I love.
I'm so glad you share that. Wow. Do you have any other thoughts that you would like to share on this topic? Or I was just feeling that, I really want to say to those listening that it's okay if you desire oneness, and that you want connection, you want support from others, you don't want to be alone, you want to contribute to the greater good, that's okay. That's a legitimate desire. And on the other hand, if you want to be special, if you want to be you, if you want to be pretty much unabashedly you and express who you are and what you're here that you can give and share with others, then that's legitimate too. So don't feel, ashamed to want either of these desires, even though they're complete opposites, but there is truth to both, right? And I really want to say that in this era, Cindy, I really feel like we, at least in the Western world, we are very self-centered, and we have slowly forgotten what it is to connect with the whole and to be in community and to connect with all that's around us, not only with people, but with the land and everything else here. So I'm so glad that we're talking about this and that people can kind of give this a little bit of thought and think, okay, what am I here to do, and what is my role in all of this?
Well, I think that I'm really glad that you brought up the fact that being unique and uniquely you, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's not opposite of being together and being one. It's just the other side. It's just the other side of the coin. It's not opposite. And the more that you embody your uniqueness, the greater the oneness is. So if you're trying to be small and so that you can feel your oneness, that doesn't work. The bigger you are, the more you're able to feel the oneness, because it's huge. And you can be as huge as you can be in order to feel the oneness. When it gets out of, when it becomes an opposite, when it becomes too far the other way, that's when you're being unique without experiencing the oneness at the same time. That's when it gets out of balance. That's when it's an extreme polar opposite. Otherwise, it's just the other side. It's like water. Water has a kind of skin on the top called a meniscus. But it's just the top of the water. On the other side is just all the water, and it's made up of all the little individual water droplets. So we are like a bunch of wonderful water droplets, and the greater that we allow ourselves to be, the greater we can feel the oneness that is part of this world in every way. We're all made of energy. I mean, physics has borne that out. Science has. It's not just hocus pocus. We, our brains are electrical, and everything in the world is energy, and we just connect with it. And when we do, we're bringing greater things to the world, and we can connect better with the energy of the universe as we allow our energy to expand.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? The better we connect with ourselves and the better we know ourselves, the better we can actually connect with others, because we need that compassion, we need that acceptance for ourselves, and we are just extending that outside and further and further. So can you please share with us what is it that you are going to be giving away for this episode so that people can share and feel this expansion?
Oh, what a great idea. I'm going to do a very special meditation for this one. Maddie, I will send it to you, and then you can tell everybody where to find it. But it will be a meditation that, one at the same time, allows you to know your separateness and uniqueness and the togetherness and the oneness. And it will be just the two sides rather than the polar opposites. We'll get that together.
Perfect. So once this episode airs or is published on iTunes, you can find that beautiful meditation at femininespace.com/oneness. What else, right? So that's it for today. Thanks for joining us. And thank you, Cindy. What a beautiful talk. I feel like I'm still connected with you. I'm still connected with those who will be listening, and we're all in this together. So go and get that meditation. Let us know what you think. And I just want to shout out to T, because she left us a beautiful, beautiful review, Cindy, with 5 stars on iTunes. And if you want to, yeah, she's amazing. So if you want, I'll shout out to you too, because we are really grateful for all those listening, and we are really touched if you share with us how this is changing your life and how this is supporting you on your journey. Then feel free to just go to iTunes, leave a star or 5, and of course a review too. So thanks for everybody for joining us, and let's not forget to flow with self-love and ignite your natural power, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.